Hi there, guys, and welcome to the Chronicles of Gamers, episode 63. This is a podcast where we love to explain our love-hate relationship with video games. I'm, of course, your host, Efocutioner, and I have my other host with me, I almost said console fan. The video game maestro, gamer composer. I almost gave him my time.
Get it right or pay the price. What's going on, Efocutioner? How you doing?
I'm doing well in the cell, well in hell.
Well in the cell.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm doing well in cell at the cell games, I guess.
You gotta keep that going. That was brilliant.
I'll try.
Well in the cell. Instead of hell in the cell.
Oh, hell
See what he did there?
That's how.
You ever seen that movie, The Cell? I think I might want to watch that.
No, you don't. I think that's the one with Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, damn. You call it. Dang. Wait, did they redo the movie?
No.
Yeah, they did.
When?
No, they did.
Exactly.
Yo, I'm watching this. This looks good.
Maybe.
Okay, well, I don't know. Anyways, this is, video game podcast where we discuss our love-hate relationship with video games.
Well, technically, Cell was a video game. But anyways, let us continue. Yes, Gamer Composer, it's good to have you back for your wonderful journey of Acheron, which is now officially started. He's got the t-shirt on, folks.
Got the t-shirt here. We got t-shirts!
He's got t-shirts.
And they're good. They're nice and smooth. Let's sit back.
So hopefully, well, actually, no, I don't think I get the t-shirt as a backer. Do I get? No, I don't think so. I don't think I got that. But I get the game, so I guess that's more important to me anyway, so that's all good.
There we go.
You nice and comfortable? You're prepared?
Almost there. Okay.
We gotta make sure he's ready, because when we start, it's all about the hype. He might have to fly out of his seat for this one. Or not. I don't think it's gonna be that big a deal. But anyways, let us get started. We are getting straight into It's All About the Hype. This is where we like to talk about any video game news, any industry news, any video game related stuff that is just like so important that we need to talk about. Hype.
Go.
Yes, so I'll be talking today, and I have something mostly because of what's been going on with Final Fantasy 15 and their new King's Edition, Royal Edition BS. Well, it's not really BS. I'm kind of happy about it, but I'm also surprised when I found out that they're also going to release more DLC. So it's just like, for people that thought the Royal Edition was the complete edition. Anyways, though, I'm going into the topic. Season passes on day one. Day one, folks. My complaint about it is season passes on day one are just ludicrous. They make no sense due to the fact that when you buy it, you think that you're getting all the DLC the makers are going to make, but then you get surprised when they make other stuff. So, like, for example, not just Final Fantasy 15, but Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, their season pass info, they tell you right away that if you were to buy it, it's subject to change. So meaning like they can add more content or they can add less, and the value of that season pass can instantly change. There's no real constant or there's no real definition for season passes. And because of that, when you ask around, people assume multiple things. There are people that believe when you buy a season pass, you're getting all the DLC at a discounted price. If you buy a season pass, you're technically only getting the DLC that they make for that season, aka Street Fighter V with their multiple season passes, or what was another game that did that? Borderlands as well.
Mortal
Kombat. Thank you. Destiny, that was a real problem as well, because there were people that bought the season pass, and the Taken King, this is Destiny 1, and the Taken King was outside of that, but it added on, and it was kind of a technically you needed to buy. That's why the Taken King ended up being its own thing, and then it included all the other DLCs. I might be wrong, but from what I've heard from the Destiny people, that's what the speculation has been. That's why they kind of made a Taken King disc, and then put all that content on there. So the problem that I really have is just like season passes are kind of. To me, I always thought a season pass was just like you bought the game, like you would get all the DLC at a discounted price, like all the DLC, or at least the DLC that they made up to that point, and you get it at a very reasonable discounted price. So, for example, like Final Fantasy 15, I'm going to pick on them because they recently came out with this. Their season pass went from $30 to $25, and at the time they had 4 games that were $5, and technically that's only $20 worth of content. But when they made that new expansion, which cost $10, that technically is a it's kind of a saving of a bundle, because if you buy the season pass, you don't need to pay for the extension to do their MMO that they have for the game. So my only complaint is I just don't see the whole point of season passes. What do you guys think about season passes? Do you really think they should be in the industry? Do you think they should just be taken out? Because I believe that a lot of companies are going away from what it originally was. And originally, when it came out, it was LA Noire when they had their, I believe LA Noire was the first one that did it. And they kind of it was called something different. And then Mortal Kombat 9 did it as well, but they took $35 worth of content and they sold it for $20.
Damn!
Yeah. So, but that made sense at the time, whereas like a season pass was just meant to, take all the DLC and then sell it to you at a bundle price, like a discounted bundle price. But it seems like now it's just like, buy our season pass day one and we promise we'll just make content and the content will be good. And it's the same like that for Fighter Z as well, because it's like $30 for their season pass. But so far, you only know 2 characters that are coming out, and it's not even really worth it. Although I do believe making DLC is worth it. So go ahead.
Yeah, I really want more characters on Dragon Ball FighterZ. I mean, the characters I have are great, but I definitely want more characters. I just want more. Like, there's that whole roster, that whole family of Dragon Ball Z is so large and so big. I just want more. I need more. It's not enough. I need more. Like,
he needs more, folks.
If you guys know anime references, you know what I'm referencing. If not, yeah.
You should just tell them anyways. That's usually what I do. Although, if you also want to see how bad DLCs a season pass content can be, you can take a look at BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, which is selling 18 characters, but then they're selling the another half. So just like basically they're selling half the characters. They're putting half the characters on the disc, and then they're selling the other half on DLC. And then there was a huge debunk. There was a huge problem when they took away 2 Ruby characters for the Ruby fan base. By the way, I have a Ruby podcast with another friend of mine, but that's another selfless plug. Anyways, they took 2 Ruby characters and they decided to make them as DLC while the other 2 were put on the disc, and they didn't even include the 4 characters in there, and that pretty much Ruby is like the culmination of these 4 girls. So it's like, it didn't make sense taking half the team and putting them on the disc, and then the other half, selling it as DLC. Even if they haven't finished making the characters, that still doesn't excuse that you're literally selling half the game to people, and then you're selling the other half as DLC. So
True.
that caused them problems.
Yeah, I mean, it really is not cool, especially since as for us in our culture, right? We're used to getting we're paying a full amount. We get the full game, but maybe, I was hearing about this before on somewhere else. I can't remember, but I think that the game development studios they're in order to make more money off their game without doing more contract work or doing other work for other game companies that maybe they don't want to. This is the way that they can kind of keep the money rolling in and trying to, just create more disruptive product models in order to keep the lights on in that regard, because maybe they're not selling. If you're not hitting your target market for the units sold that you anticipate, with the investors or the publishers, they can't have a return on investment. So it sucks, and I think that's what's going on. And that sucks definitely for us as gamers when we're playing, because for most of us, games are expensive already. You know what I mean? They're not as expensive as they used to be.
Oh gosh,
like, I got to make that clear. But I mean, I think this is the other way. Rather than raising game prices, this is the other solution they can come up with in that regard. But for me, like, I gotta vote with my wallet on this one, like, and say, do I really want another half of the game? Like, did I get enough from the first amount of money that I paid? The season pass for me, I remember doing this study. I was doing a study for Mortal Kombat 9 and Complete Edition. And they were just talking about season pass. And I thought that was the first one that was going to be introduced, but I guess not. I think you said like LA Noire, but I don't know facts and stuff. But if you listeners out there know, please let us know, correct us, check us.
Yes, please.
We're happy to be correct. And I was in this focus group study, and they were talking about, like, what do you think of the name the season pass should be? And what is this? And that was actually, I think, my first time hearing about it. I was like, season pass? Like, what do you get with this on top of the game? And they was like, well, you get more characters, you get more maps, or you get some inclusive thing with, like, mobile points, because they're the same studio that did Injustice. So it was kind of, like, tied into how that model was playing around. And I was thinking, man, like, well, how much is the season pass going to be? Like, it was like, we were going to ask you guys, like, you know, what you think it should be. And there was some people were just like, we're coming up with a model. It's like $100, $150.
$100 what?
Whiz. That was what they were saying in the focus group when they were asking us before the actual season pass that came out. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't ever get a season pass. The only season pass I think I probably would have got of if I got the game early enough, when was that? Almost 5 years ago now, was Batman Arkham City. Yeah. And I can see that being a reasonable game to get for what you're going to get, because that game is very well built. It's a huge world, and when you play it, it's very addictive. I personally did not get enough of that game, so I probably would have suckered about that, because I didn't get all the missions and everything like that. I wanted to get all the Riddler trophies, so on and so forth. So that's my input on, like, with the season pass stand, at least, like, where I have to be. Like I said, voting for my wallet.
Well, please grab this wallet, folks. Loves grabbing his wallet. Of course, I'm interested to know what you guys think about season passes as well. Do you think we should kind of just not support it and buy the DLC separately? Do you think they're worthwhile if we wait for a sale or special? And there are quite a bit of specials on PS4 and Xbox Live, so you could easily just wait and buy season passes for like half the price. Me, I don't think I would support it. I'd rather just buy the DLC separately if I enjoy the game, because that still goes to them, and I still want to support the game versus that whole day one DLC bullshit. Or if you want to buy it day one, tell us why, man. Message us at the Chronicles of Gamers podcast at gmail.com,
or tweet at us.
Yes, tweet. Besides that, yeah. Tweet at COG Podcast, or Efocutioner, or Chase Bethia, or just tweet fuck season passes. Hashtag fuck season passes. Yeah. But besides that, we are going to take a small break. When we come back, we're going to go into the next topic. So stay tuned. Hi there, guys, and welcome back. Now we're going to get into Indie Radar. This is where we like to talk about any indie games that we enjoyed, that we played, or is just super exciting, man. Indie Radar, Beep, beep.
Yeah, we got some new stuff coming for you soon. So, check it out. So, Indie Radar, I've been playing a lot of video games on my journey because I have not had time. Well, I take that back. I've had time, but I haven't had time to really get into some as much as I've wanted to. And so now I've had a lot of time to get into some and actually test some things out, decide if I like it, decide if I want to play it or beat it, and then move on, because it's really cool. So, Indie Radar. So, the first game I played was Everything Is Going to Be Okay. Now, I played this game at Indiecade in 2018. The game is by Natalie Lawhead, and the developer was showcasing it at Indiecade, and when I played it there, it made me laugh, and it was fun. And I played it again this month. Wait, I think I played it in February. So, just recently, because it's a new month. Right. And I can't say that I enjoyed it so much. I played the scenarios in the game, and it didn't make me feel very good. The dialogue was long, and the gameplay became a little bit tedious. I was told by some people, I think, on like social media, or by her, I think, at Indiecade, that the game hits on the head about real world issues, and it does. It does talk about like depression and internet trolling, the LGBTQ. Probably got that all like mixed up. I never know how to freaking say that thing. They keep adding like letters to it too, so I apologize. But it does talk about those things, and I can deal with some of those. But I guess for some segments, they went on too long. Yeah. Overall, it's a good game. It's very interesting. It has some very quirky type of voiceovers that she's done. She created the entire game. So she did the art, she did the music, she did the sound effects, she did the voiceover, she did obviously the mechanics, the programming, and other stuff. And this girl is a beast. She comes out with a game every year, and she's in almost the international or the independent games festivals at GDC almost every year. I think it's almost like, or at Indiecade every year. She's hitting like boom, 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 boom. I think it's almost like 4 years in a row she's on a streak. So her weird, quirky type of games that she's creating definitely are resonating with the independent games community. And that's great. That's awesome. She's a wonderful person. I like her. She's very talented. She's very skilled. Everything's going to be okay. If you are dealing with some of these things and you think that you may enjoy this game, I highly suggest you check it out. It's on itch.io. I think it's on Game Jolt. I picked it up off of Game Jolt. And like I said, if you're dealing with like, she just has an interesting take on what like depression is and internet trolling. And maybe I guess like for me, my time, like some of the things are too long. Like for some, there are different scenarios you can pick within the game. I think there's like 30 things, and sometimes I guess they're quick experiences and sometimes they're not. So check it out. I'm going to move on. This other game I played called Acheron. So that's Acheron. So this game took me by surprise. I really enjoyed the gameplay. The story got really interesting too. So the game is a little challenging at first, but it's not impossible. It offers some good level exploration. It's like a 2D type of like side scroller type of exploration thing. Looks like it was made in Game Maker, but I'm not sure. It's sometimes confusing on where to go, but it has really good music, decent puzzles, which I enjoy. Keeps the player engaged. And I would definitely play it again. It seems short and beatable, so that's why I'm going to continue on. I really like the voiceover for that, though, a lot. It really has cool VO. I guess what I could, to describe the game, you get like a signal frequency from wherever you are in this desolate planet or something like that, and your robot that speaks to you, and then like you go search for it, and the robot like disappears, and you can't, like, you have to get out. It takes these powers away from your suit that you had when you were exploring, and so you have to get them back. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Let's see. The last game I played was Lifeless Planet. Just want to talk about this briefly. I think Efocutioner and Covenant recently, right? Not recently, but like you played it multiple times that you were saying.
Twice.
So I was looking for a game to hop in and out, and this game was definitely kind of it. So it's like an open world with a linear path exploration. I give it like a 7 out of 10 if we're giving numbers, but if I had to give it an average adjective, I give it an awesome. I'd give it an awesome. So it's a little buggy. The mechanical issues became a little frustrating, ridiculous, because when you're falling to deaths, like if you jump high with a little bit of jetpack, like I promise you not, probably like 7 feet off the ground,
your jetpack
versus 30 feet, then you fucking die. And I don't know why that's even possible. I don't know if that would happen on the moon if I just jumped off of like zero gravity or whatever, and I dropped 7 feet off the ground, then I would die. Especially since like I don't know like if that's real physics. I can understand dropping 30 feet off the ground, and even then, like, it seems like that wouldn't happen like in space, so that was really dumb. But whatever, moving on. It has really good music by Rich Douglas, who also did the Stranger Things game. I also found that he did the new Shadowgate for, I think, like, that came out 3-4 years ago. And, which I'm a huge fan of. It has great scenic view. The game is very beautiful for the textures and mapping that it has. It kind of has some Prometheus vibes. It also reminds me of Yume Nikki, and a tiny bit of Final Fantasy VII, just a very, very tiny bit.
Like a dash.
You'll know, And you'll know why when you play the game, if you've ever played Final Fantasy VII, if you even like that game. Very interesting puzzle. There are people who don't like the game. I mean, I will be doing an article one day in the future about the 7/8 fraction. It just talks about the people who like Final Fantasy 7 or 8, but they don't like 9, but they love 9 or something.
9 sucks. Anyways, let's continue.
So yeah. So for me, the game went on a little long, maybe 2 hours too long. I felt like it was like the Lord of the Rings Return of the King endings, like, or the last. It just like prolonged because there are different sections in the game, and like some are called like the Last Stand, the Portal, Inferno, Geysers, the Crater, Ancient, etc. And at this point, like, I lost count because I was like, just off those titles, you're thinking like, oh, I got to the Last Stand, this may be the end of the game. Oh, I got to this portal, like maybe this is something that your kids, you're hearing about something that's going on, you're like, maybe this is the end. Inferno, like maybe this is where like shit gets crazy. And or the Crater, like, oh, like, because in a certain game, if you haven't played it, if it's really ancient, I just mentioned it, there's the Crater, and that is part of the end of the game. Or Ancient, and you're thinking like, okay, well, this is probably the end of the game, and it just doesn't stop. So if you ever seen Lord of the Rings Return of the King, you kind of get the idea of what I'm talking about there, because those endings like were just crazy. So other than that is the Indie Radar. So that's a recap. Everything's going to be okay. Got that on Game Jolt. Acheron, forgot to mention, I definitely picked that up off of Game Jolt. It was free. Ooh. Everything's okay. Everything's going to be okay. You can get itch.io. I think you can pay her a little bucks or something to continue on itch.io or Game Jolt. But Lifeless Planet I got on the PS4. It's only $20, Premier Edition. I think I have it on Steam as well. So check it out. And let us know if you end up playing it, what you think, or if you've already played these games, if you have any feedback. Remember to tweet at us, COG Podcast at Twitter, or one of us, at Chase Bethia,
Efocutioner
on Twitter,
or you can
the
message
Chronicles
us.
of Gamer Podcast, gmail.com.
Yeah. Well, I feel like they could have took out Inferno because I didn't really see a point to it.
Yeah, that was weird, right? And I died quite a bit there because I didn't know where to go. What about
I didn't
you?
know either, and that's one of the problems. Like, because the thing is like you're supposed to be able to tell which are the rocks you're supposed to land on and which ones look like lava, but because the background is kind of like that reddish black, they kind of look the same. So it's just like you would think like, oh, I have enough jetpack to get over there. And it's just like, wait, no, that's lava. And then you're thinking like, oh, I don't know if I have enough jetpack to get over to the other side. And you have to like magically bounce off one rock to bounce off another. And then when you get there, you're like, oh, that's lava too? What the fuck, man?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, the shading is weird. And then you kind of get turned around too. So not only you turned around once you get far because there's no really set path. Like, the game does an okay job of like kind of tell you to guide you where to go, even in an exploration-ish game. It does a good part of that. But in that area, like, there are things that you seem like you can land on because it's kind of like a puzzle platformer too, like a 3D puzzle platformer, just like very large. But the rocks are hot in some places, so you gotta kind of use your eyes to be like, is that a safe place to land? Because I've landed some places like, oh, that's cool. There's obviously places where they are definitely places you shouldn't land. But there are other things that look like where you've landed before and it was okay, and then you fucking burn up and you're like, what the hell? So,
or
that's a pun.
The same problem when you were talking about when you're like 7 feet off the ground. So like, say when you finally make it and then you're just trying to land and you're like, how the fuck did I die?
Yo, that shit bothered the shit out of me. Like that should not happen in space. Like that's what I was saying. Like in physics, especially like if it's going to be a game, because everybody loves jetpacking. There's not a lot of games like that do that. Last time I remember jetpacking like this was, damn it. Shadows of the Empire, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire on N64. And you could jetpack your ass off. And maybe I think you could get hurt if you landed hard. But if you can kind of like soften your land from the jetpack, that should not happen. And I was doing that and I was still like dying.
Yeah, I was getting that too, where it's just like you would be like, game over.
Yeah, I mean, 7 feet off the ground, that shouldn't happen. I mean, like, also, I can understand. I think in Shadows of the Empire, you were jumping way farther than 7 feet. Like, I think you would get hurt if you dropped, like I said, 30 feet down, which I could kind of understand at that point, because you didn't have enough fuel to kind of soften your landing. But if I'm jumping one leap and then I jump again and I get a little jetpack air and I'm about 9 feet off the ground in space, I shouldn't fucking die. I shouldn't die. I should get hurt,
but you shouldn't die.
But I shouldn't die. So that's like one flaw in the game. I was just like, man, what the fuck, man? Like, I remember there was one thing that I remember I was jetpacking, trying to get a certain, there's a certain part in the game I was trying to platform and get somewhere, and I got stuck on this cliff and I screamed, bugs!
Was it where, what is it, that windy area where it's like you're trying to go and you're being pushed by the wind and you have to jetpack over to the side and the wind pushes you a bit? Because I got stuck on a rock by doing that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just like the wind pushed me and then I landed and then I tried jumping, but I was like stuck and I was like,
yeah.
Or
actually,
the cutscene where you meet that mysterious figure. What's up?
Oh, I was saying that wasn't
like,
part for me, but go on.
Oh, that wasn't the part?
No, that's not where I got stuck, but go on. I'll tell you what it is after you finish.
Yeah, that's it though.
No, the part I got stuck was, without spoiling anything, is actually around the infernal level when you have to platform. I don't want to give anything away, but you're platforming up instead of platforming straight, and you have to carry something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I was doing fine, and fool got stuck in the rock, and I screamed exactly like I just did, exactly those words. Because I was frustrated at that point. I was thinking, I was like, oh, okay, I got this. I'm going to do this in one go. And I almost did. I was like one platform away from the top, and he fucking got stuck. And so I screamed. I try to give my anger a little bit different now. I watched rage quit videos on YouTube, and I thought to myself, like, damn, I've definitely done some of this stuff.
Oh, I got a rage quit story for you.
Oh, it's going to true story. But I wanted to ask you, it was funny. I thought about you a lot because you're a really good gamer. So I was thinking, I know that you played the game, and I know that I think I remember you saying you beat it. Before I talked to you about me playing the game, you telling me to confirm that you beat it. What other parts did you like or did you not like that it frustrated you? Because we never really talked about it, and so I think we want to, give people the insides of like something before.
So the like the final part before you get to the end, it's like the plant level, and you have to use like certain plants where you have to activate them, and like they'll extend or they'll like push objects at a different way, and you have to. So it's like the plant level was kind of a little bit of a frustrating because it would be like sometimes I would activate it, and the way you have to activate it sometimes is just like you kind of have to be near it or in front of it. So when you activate it, sometimes I got killed during the activation as I was trying to run away, and it was just like that was kind of frustrating. And then there are other times where it's just like I activate it and I have the plant and I'm trying to walk up on it, and sometimes he would just like slide off even though I'm trying to like walk straight. So it's like if I went at a weird speed, I could sometimes just fall off for no apparent reason. That was kind of annoying.
Yeah, I remember the
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna
go.
interject really quick.
Yeah,
I was remembered like some of the same thing, like the platforming for being on a linear thing when you have to walk across stuff was like similar to like God of War in that style. And I was like, man, I got this. I played God of War before. So like, it's interesting that you had a hard spot there. But continue.
There was the other where you're on top of like those electronic things and you have to tight rope across like that.
Yes.
That too was kind of annoying.
That's what I'm talking about.
I had to do that. Although one thing I really liked was just the interaction and exploring the world. There was one part of the game where it's like you're in this like desert and you have to activate these like devices, like these weird green devices, which will create this bridge. I really enjoyed that part where it's like you create that green bridge. That was really nice because it was just like once you finally solved it and then you kept going and it's just like it goes into a cutscene and then you learn more about it. And I was like, wow, this is like so amazing. Or the part where you're inside that laboratory and you go into the room and then that goes into that cutscene where you learn a little bit more about his character without being in the world. I'm trying to say it without trying to spoil it too much.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's interesting that we're talking about because I know exactly where the places you are, but I know for other listeners, they're just like, what the hell?
But see,
feel free to like skip ahead if you want to.
Yeah. Like, but this is a good thing. Maybe this is a great way for you guys to try Lifeless Planet. Like I said, it's a really fun game, and story wise, I never expected the ending to be the way it was.
Me too. Me too.
Because especially the way it was set up and the way how he's like talking and narrating, I didn't really think that would be the ending. I mean, I didn't think there'd be a happy ever after, but I didn't think it would go into that direction because I thought he was just gonna die.
Hold on, spoilers. You're not supposed to say what's going on.
Oh, whoops.
Oh my
okay,
God,
well,
right.
anyway, so we're gonna go on to. Do you have a sound test?
I was gonna. I think I do, but before we continue, I just want to say a couple more things about the game. I did appreciate the Russian voiceover.
Yes.
I guess like because I don't speak Russian, it was a little difficult to read some of the text. The text is not in Russian. I just want to make that clear. The text is in English, but the voiceover is in Russian, and I was reading faster than the Russian voiceover was going on. So at first I was annoyed. I was like, man, I want to kind of get through this. Is not how to do it. But then I realized I was reading faster than normal, which is actually pretty cool. And comprehending. Reading is one thing, comprehending is another. So I was doing both. And then the other thing was, I don't know if you know, and you might already do, but they're doing Lifeless Moon next. This is the sequel. Yeah. And so, like you were talking about those puzzles for the bridges and stuff. That kind of reminded me of Prometheus, especially like near the end. Oh my God! Like if you guys love Prometheus, and if you played Yume Nikki, if you guys know what that is, then yeah, I think you'll really appreciate it. And I really enjoyed how you start off in the game and then how it ends and where it takes you. This is definitely a journey game. And I don't mean journey the game. I don't mean journey the band. I mean like this takes you on a journey. No, so I gotta be.
I know. Actually, you have to clarify.
Actually, you know what? It kind of is journey-esque if I think about it too, because that game kind of takes you. That journey kind of takes you on a journey too, and that kind of is. I think I would kind of relate it to that. So
I don't know.
If you like that game, definitely check it out. Moving on.
I guess.
What are we going to next?
You want to go to True Story?
Yeah, because no.
You have a sound test? Okay.
Yeah, I do have a sound test.
So
I'm guilty of this. Usually I try to play the games before I listen to the soundtrack, but I was listening to rpgamers.net radio, wonderful site that plays video game music, and I got turned on to this game called Another Mind. And I've been listening to a lot of that stuff, and then I was like, man, this music's so good, but it sounds familiar. And then I discovered that the composer is a composer called Nakano Junya. And Nakano Junya has done a lot of video game music, but he also teamed up with Hamayuzu Masashi to do Final Fantasy X. And that's when I heard it. And I think he did a little bit of Resident Evil as well. Because I heard something, you can tell about, my ears just picked up his sound and his style is very distinct. He's very good at ambience, like type of video game music. And that's something that I specialize in too. So then I think my ears had picked up on that. But yeah, so Another Mind, I can't tell you anything about the game except that it's very weird. I think it's like
FLCL?
What is that? No, FMV, I want to say, like type of games, like what's the other one? Night Trap or something. Is that game that came out recently? Last year?
That game's been out since the 90s, man.
The re-release I'm talking about.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's kind of like a cutscene game, kind of like Her Story, I believe. But man, the music is bizarre and weird and cool. So that's my sound test for this week.
And what's the name of the song?
There's a couple tracks that I would suggest listening to. Give me a second, I'll pull those up.
Yeah, because it'd be nice when I play it, at least know what they're listening to.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just go on my little trusty little thing here.
Just gotta go on this trusty little thing, folks. Kicking it.
Almost thought I got the name wrong. Okay, so the song that played on rpgamers.net was A Drop of Anxiety. And that's what gave me the feeling that I was like, man, it sounds like that. If you guys play Resident Evil on PlayStation, yes, the first one. When you go into the save room, there's a not where the typewriter is, but there's a room somewhere else in the game, and there's this music that's very, very calming. That's what this song reminded me of. And I was like, oh, I love this. And it's great to like work in the background with if you're, you know, doing some spreadsheets or tedious work, whatever, like wherever you guys are. And then the other one that I like was, I think it's called, oh my god, I gotta play it really quick. I think it's called no, that's really this really discerning. There's another one that I like that was like more jazzy, but I can't remember. Oh, I think it's called A Sense of Violence. Oh, A Senseless Act of Violence is the other one. That okay. It's not the jazzy one, but it's very, very cool. And then An Endless Chase. That's my third favorite one. I'm actually gonna play that while we listen to while we do the rest of the podcast, because it's really, really good. I think that's my second favorite. Not biased because it has my name. Just letting you guys know.
Quote unquote, not biased.
So yeah, that's my sound test for the week. You got one?
No. Well, I mean, I do. I have some more Persona ones, but I'll save it for next episode.
All right, sounds good.
So we're gonna skip the commercial break. No, we can skip.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we're gonna skip.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna go straight into True Story, man. This is where we like to talk about video game moments that we did are amazing or, you know, super shitty, but you just feel like sharing. True story, man.
True story.
True story.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I would like you to go first. It's been a while since I had you on. I know the listeners like listening to your voice.
I appreciate it. I love you guys. So, man, it's a little loud, so I'm gonna probably
as he turns down his audio, ladies and gentlemen.
So, yeah, I just gotta make sure I'm clear. So, I want to talk about how I guessed that track from Twitter. I think there's a Twitter guy. Excuse me, I want to find him, give him the proper selfless plug.
Give him the business.
Okay, so he's at GameTracks2285, and he used to do these things called Guess That Game Track. And so I was participating in this in December. And what I love like video game quizzes. I love even like trying to guess like the music or something like even more. I think there's like a thing called S&D test or something where you can like get acclimated. And I found on Reddit yesterday where they were actually giving away points to people who could guess video game music. It was actually quite hard. I would not have passed it, so I could definitely step my chops up. But for this particular true story, I participated in Guess That Track from the Game Tracks Twitter guy. Okay. And he just posts like 30-second clip of the music, and then you know tweet at him to say this is what it is. And now I'm getting nostalgia in the sense of I want him to do it again because he stopped it. But let me finish the story. He put that up, and then you have like a week to guess it. So from I think like Friday night or something until Saturday morning or something, and people were guessing it, and I think they were kind of getting it. And so it was so bizarre. It was I can kind of hear the instrumentation of the sound palette of the consoles, and sometimes like maybe the actual instrument units like the synthesizers or romplers and modules that were used. And people on Reddit give me shit like they try to correct me like, you do understand this is a sampler thing, It's just like, well, I don't know if you're guessing these things like I am. My ears are hearing this, and this is what I think like these chips are made of, just based off of like how like the Sega has its own sound versus the Super Nintendo. And so I'm able to hear that stuff. So I was going through I was just going online. I was looking for soundtracks that I think came close to it. And luckily there's a really cool database out there that I can like filter through that faster. So you don't get any clues really. You just kind of get the track. And I ran through, I think it took me about 3 days, and I would spend like an almost like 30 minutes per day to try to guess like what it was. And I was walking, when I was at school at the time, I was walking to class, and I was thinking like what it could possibly be and narrowing down choices until one day I like sat down, I think for the third day, and I was like, okay, I think I'm getting closer. And I almost gave up because it didn't seem like I was getting anywhere, but I got it. And dude was impressed. He was like, wow, how did you guess that? And the game ended up being Klonoa Dora Phantomile, which is a PlayStation launch title game, which is about $150 to $200 or $300 fucking dollars on Amazon. And the song was called Baloo and Lafitte. And you guys will be hearing that. I wouldn't recommend it to a sound test, but it's actually pretty cool in the sense of it. And like that soundtrack is huge. So like, yeah, I'm surprised at how I found it, but when I did, oh, I was happy. And that is my true story of how I guessed that track from Twitter. Because they were tough. You get no clues, like I said, and you get 30-second clip, and then you just gotta like go and hope maybe you played the game, and maybe you didn't, but nobody was getting it, and I got it. So
3 days.
I think it was about 3 days. My memory's a little jarring, but I don't think it was anything more than that. That was me brainstorming in the interim too, like on my downtime, like I said, like when I'm traveling like when I'm walking around campus or whenever it's waiting for something, things of that nature.
Nice job, Carmen Sandiego.
I could be just in case, okay? I could be just in case.
Sure, why not? If you want to be a little kid.
Well, just in case was with Carmen Sandiego.
Nah.
What do you know?
I wouldn't have known that
Did
song.
They ever
that's
find
for sure.
Carmen Sandiego?
Anyway, my true story is I was streaming for a bit. I will be streaming again. Just give me a second. I'm working through some stuff, projects. But I was streaming. I did a stream after I got my butt kicked in tech, and I decided to do some Dragon Ball FighterZ online. And it took me a minute to get accustomed to the online playstyle. But I ended up being in this one match against this guy. And he had a team of Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks. And of course I had my Piccolo, Vegeta, Goku. And first game, he went ham. And I was, like I'm trying to get used to like playing online and people just rushing in with like no Fs, because most people I played with, they like to get a feel before they attack. So he just rushed right in, and he just like kind of steamrolled my first two characters because I was trying to analyze and try to figure them out. So it got to the point where he took out my King Piccolo and the Prince of all Saiyans, and I got to my little old Super Saiyan Goku. But that's usually when I tend to clean up my act because I don't like seeing Goku lose. And at first, he was kind of getting me. I was kind of doing some stupid stuff, but I decided to, play a little patient, Bobby Valentino and slow it down. And I took out his first character pretty easy. I took out his Goku because he was playing stupid mistakes, and then I managed to take out his at this point he had Vegeta in, and his Vegeta was kind of kicking my butt. So I kind of went into my Sparkle mode or X-ray or whatever that thing is called, and I decided to try to play a little bit smarter. Although I kind of messed up, but I managed to take out his Vegeta with a level 3 Super Saiyan 3 Kamehameha. Man, I love doing that. And by the way, I love the fact when you beat enemies with the level 3, you get to like change the stage area, and it does that extra stuff. Like I really enjoy doing that because it's like, dang, I killed Vegeta because he doesn't appear afterwards. And then it's just basically me versus his Trunks. Now I managed, like I'm starting to make this comeback. I'm close to death. All this man has to do is just like hit me twice, or at least do one big attack. So he managed to hit me. So I took out his Vegeta, then his Goku came in. I took out his Goku just by, doing a simple combo, and then on knockdown, after doing the teleport, and I did a teleport to push him back, I did a Kamehameha. Now he could have just teleported, but I knew he didn't like the block on wake up, so I knew the Kamehameha was going to hit, but I didn't think it was really going to hit. So I was like, okay, I took him out. Then he has his Trunks in. His Trunks does like 1 damage, but he didn't have any meter. I had meter, but I was just like, I can chill. So, I decided to just play patient, wait for my time to hit, got a hit, did a combo, knocked him down, rushed in at him because he had no meter, and Trunks has no wake up. I can just pressure him all day. All he had to do was block. The guy didn't want to block, and I basically beat him. So I managed to do a comeback with Goku. I was like, yo, man, power down, Goku, power down. Like when he was like, whoo, I was like, yo, good job, Goku. And then so he was trying to decide if he wanted to play me again because he was definitely frustrated. So he decides to do the same thing again. I was like, I got the gist of this. So I decided to, like, he did something stupid. I punished him again for it. And then I'm facing him with my Piccolo. So just to test, like, okay, how frustrated are you? I decided to do like a block string into Piccolo's little grab, which is his energy move. Like, he doesn't shoot a beam, he just extends his arm and grabs you on block or attack. And I did that twice and opened them up, and then I took out his character, and then I was about to do the same thing for his Vegeta, and he just stopped blocking, and then he rage quit.
Wait, he just quit the match?
He quit the match. And I popped out.
Wow.
In fact, I did a rage quit rap. Like,
you did?
Yes, on stream. I'm speaking to cause I didn't use the actual game music. I used someone else's music that they let me play on stream. So I'm asking the guy if I could, showcase this and stuff. But I believe, I think he messaged me back. So I'm going to check my inbox on SoundCloud. But from the clip I showed him, like, I could tell, like, he had like a haha, like, cause I didn't read the full message, but I definitely saw haha. So I'm pretty sure he liked my little rage quit rap that I did. But you can see the archive on stream. Like, if you just go to the Chronicles of Gamers on twitch.tv, just type in the Chronicles of Gamers, you can watch it.
I'm gonna watch that. I gotta actually piggyback off of your Fighter Z. I gotta actually a true story you reminded me of. I totally forgot, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
So, I've been playing fighters, and I was trying to get a feel for. I went to a tournament the day before. Shout out to Ted. He does Alien Genome. He had his first event that he did for Dragon Ball Fighters tournament at Game Realms. Go to at Game Realms, game_realms or something like that. It's a video game store in Burbank, California. It's super awesome. The guy's great. The girl's great. So I was playing the day after, and I was getting a feel for it because Ted was like, "Oh man, you're really good. You beat me." And I was just like, "Yeah, I don't really know." But I was getting the idea. I was just like, "Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit more practicing." I only played the game twice since then, so this will be my third time. So I immediately hopped into my PS4 didn't log online, so I was gonna just try and test against somebody, but then I just went offline for a second and just got in a local battle. Went at 70. Oh, I did practice mode. So then went 75 difficulty, which I love the practice mode so much because you can customize it very well. And then I was winning a couple matches. I got through two characters with all first it was doing mediocre. Then the second match I got through all their characters with almost all my characters intact, damn near perfects. And then I was going back, and then I was getting a feel for it, and I had different teams. So my team was Vegeta, Hit, and oh man, I forgot the third person. Darn it! Oh, this is so important.
Yeah.
Because it really. Why did I blank on who it is? I know if I forget it. Oh, Gotenks. So against Cell, Black Goku, or Dark Goku, and who was the other one? Oh, Kid Buu, because those guys were really strong when I fought them at another time. So I was like, oh my gosh. And so about 5 matches, 75 difficulty, doing pretty well, doing all right. And I was like, okay, let's jump to 100. Because I'd never done 100. I'd done 80, 85, never done 90, just go from 75 to 100. And holy crap. I remember the details as well as you, but first I had to learn instant transmission. I had to learn the specials, and when I was doing it, I got super good with Hit. I got super good with everything, and I was on par with 100. I was very impressed with what I was doing. We were talking before Efocutioner, I think, before some time. He was saying yeah, I always practice on 100. What do you think? What have you been doing? And I feel like I've been the handicapped baby. And I thought you just kind of you don't always jump into other people's pool, right? You never. It's like a pool you're used to. You jump in, it's clean, but you never just jump into a pool that you're not familiar with. You don't know if it's got whatever it's in it. And so, but I guess if Efocutioner just jumps in anyone's pool, he gives a fuck, he sees water, he jumps right in, he's going to swim or find out whatever anomaly he's going to catch.
It's not
later.
that, but it's more of, if I'm trying to get comfortable and get a feel of the game, my goal isn't really trying to win. My goal is to put myself in a pressure situation where it's you either sink or swim. So
yeah, and that's tenable. I could definitely concur with that. So to wrap it up for my story, I won. They went through quite a bit of my characters, but within one match on doing 100% difficulty, I won, and I I was very happy. I was screaming at the TV. I was like, "Oh, get him! Get him! Yeah!" First time I got into the game after playing it 3 times. So, needless to say, I think I can handle myself. It's kind of like playing piano. You got to kind of do your skills and warm up. But wow, like you got to know like the moves and stuff. And then I think I went back to like 75 to like, because you say like power down. I had to power down. I was just like, okay, because they hop right in at you, and then they will not let up at 100. Like they will not let up at practice. Like you will get wrecked. And so like it's a very well balanced game. I'm very, very impressed. I'm super happy I bought it. I will continue to force myself to play it because I know that I want to hop into games such as, Nightmare Creatures.
Oh gosh.
Fighter Maker.
Oh gosh.
Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey.
Yeah.
Shout out to T.O. Tellum.
T.O.
And Martin Gosh Unification and Resident Evil 3. So T.O. Tellum gave me a few of these games. He gave me Resident Evil 3. He let me borrow Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, and Nightmare Creatures. He gave me, but I bought Fighter Maker at like this video store.
Hold on 1 second. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to do this. Hold on, guys. Pause.
We will be back.
Yeah. Hi there, guys, and welcome back. Sorry about that. Had someone at the door, but it's fortunately that time of the show where we have to say goodbye. Before we do, you already know what time it is. It's time for Selfless Plugins! Go.
You know how to reach us. Chronicles of Gamers at Gmail. Message us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. CLG Podcast.
YouTube.
Thank you guys so much for recording at the ground.
Thank you so
much. We got t-shirts. You guys will be getting t-shirts. You guys who backed it. I'm going to be working on the music and sound effects full time for the month of March as hard as I can, and possibly half of April. We're releasing for early access in June. Also, what else can I say? I will be at GDC, so if any of you guys, gamers or developers that listen to the show, I'm going to be there. I'm also going to E3 and know you guys got your registration open. I guess it's going to be open to the public because there was 68,000 fucking people there last year and it was a shit show. So enjoy. I will be there too. And yeah, like, I think that's it. That's all I can remember. Lord Rio, shout out to you. We miss you. We love you.
R.I.P., man.
All of the above.
I miss you too, man.
What?
No,
Did you say R.I.P.?
R.I.P. Like, respect in private.
Oh, man.
Well, it's not like she's dead, man. She's coming back.
Fuck that. Coming back, man.
Yeah, man. Lord Beals, get your ass back here, man. We miss you. Did I say that wrong? I don't think I said that wrong. That was right, man. Anyways, Chronicles Gamers. Yeah. Lord Beals, please come back. We miss you, man. Everyone misses you. Like, seriously, we miss you. Like, don't make me have to sing on this piece. If I gotta sing to bring you back, I don't want to sing. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out of here. So, stay lit. Come back, Lord Beals.